Hi, my name is Dana Arnett, co-host of Wicked Marketing, along with my partner, Carlos Sapene. You can find more information about us and our business on LinkedIn, or if you have any questions, email us at info@wickedbionic.com. Subscribe to Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts and write an awesome review for us. We're also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. Thanks for listening. Hi, this is Dana.
And this is Carlos.
Welcome to our podcast. So glad to have you here with us. We have some really topical things that we want to talk about today, and some things that have emerged, new trends and new opportunities for small businesses that have emerged, and kind of surprising and great ways that you might be able to participate.
Yeah. So, I think one of the things that we continually tell our clients, and it is part of what we do as an agency, is try to be aware of your environment, right? What's happening, not only in your industry, but in the methods and technologies that you use in order to market, right? And that's not so much listening to just what everybody else is doing, right? Like right now, Facebook advertising is a big thing, right? And everybody does Facebook advertising. But there's huge opportunities that come out, and they've been coming out often, that enable you, if you are aware, and you are aware, meaning just it could be as easy as following the news in technology or the news in social media, or just keeping track of what's happening in the industry.
Setting a Google alert, right?
Setting a Google alert, yeah. That there's opportunities that present themselves, and especially right now in the environment that there's so many businesses trying to help small business, right? One of those opportunities that we've been talking about recently is Hulu for Business, right? So Hulu is a streaming platform, very popular before, purchased by Disney, now very popular because of COVID in particular, people streaming content on it. They've opened a really big opportunity for small business, which is the same sort of tools, or the same thought process behind the tools that Facebook offers for business are now going to be, or they are already available to small businesses through Hulu. And what that enables businesses to do is to do micro-targeted campaigns, right, on Hulu. So if you have a video ad that you can, if depending on your budget, you either have it in your marketing portfolio, or you need to develop something, there's a ton of tools around. There's some from Adobe, there's some promo.com.
There's promo.com.
There's so many of them that you can just easily and quickly craft a video to put out there. But they have, Dana, a minimum spend of $500. Like, when have you been able to do TV for $500?
TV, you can't even do Facebook.
You can't even do Facebook, right?
Anything. But so let's just say the business is an accounting firm. Let's use that as an example. They create this video, they have something kind of cool about their accounting business. Then take us from there, what that would be. So
the idea there is, if I'm an accounting business and I am, let's say, serving the Los Angeles area, right, which is a very broad area. But what this enables you to do, if you really put your thought around it, is to look at the same way as you would do with Facebook. Where are my customers coming from? Let's say you're an accounting firm in Culver City, right? And you realize that a lot of your customers are coming from Culver City. People are very comfortable coming to areas that are near their home, or businesses that are near their home in particular right now with COVID, right? Even though they're not going to walk over there, the proximity gives you a little bit of calm. So it enables you to grab those $500, and instead of trying to fish for people everywhere, right, all of LA, you can put up that video ad as a pre-roll, right? So it plays before the video, or a mid-roll during an episode that people are watching on Hulu for your business, and target it just to people in Culver City or Culver City plus 3 miles, right? And you can target by show type, right? So if there's shows that relate to what you're doing, if there's shows that relate to finances or relate to, because that's,
you could advertise on the show Billions.
Right, on Billions, right? Because here's the thing, like we've said many times before, intent is a 30% upside driver of engagement, right? So if I'm already watching a show about finances, to have an ad related to finances, I've already expressed an intent and an interest in that particular topic. It is a 30% more chance of that relevance sort of bleeding over to your advertising. And the fact that you as a small business can get TV for $500 is just,
what a brilliant and cool darn thing for Hulu to do, right? And everybody's going to follow suit. Well, really, kind of, they're following the YouTube model. I don't know.
They're following the YouTube model, which has been the Google model always, right? But they are the first ones that I've seen out there from the streaming world wars that are happening, because I don't consider YouTube part of that streaming war. YouTube has its own world.
The post-roll idea.
Yeah. Even though YouTube has tried many times to become part of that streaming war, they're not. And I think now with Peacock coming into play and it being free between quotes, it's not really free, but ad supported, if they are smart, they'll also look at that model, because Peacock, being part of NBC Universal, is also part of Comcast, which has local sales teams that focus on regions, right? So it's like the perfect tool to provide in that world to be competitive. But to a business, it just gives you that new way to connect and interact at a micro level with people in your area in a way that makes your brand look bigger, more relevant, because you're on TV.
You're on TV. Right? I mean, it's so beautiful, especially for, it's like we've talked about, we have our support WeHo.com for West Hollywood, and, the businesses around there, our goal is trying to do as much as we can to support other small businesses, right? As a small business, as people have been good with us. And I think, I don't know if it's altruistic or not with Hulu, but I think I tend to be more of an optimist. I think about, why people do what they do. And I think the idea that supporting small businesses and giving them a leg up in some way that, like you said, that they could not access television before, is just a beautiful thing. Because as we know, as advertisers, we're constantly having to be very, very creative and innovative with our Facebook and Instagram, and Google display. All of our advertising has to be very creative to rise above the noise, right? Yeah. So it's really great.
And it's measurable and you can track it. So it's good. It's different than just putting an ad out on TV that was much harder to track than it is on Hulu. So looking at opportunities like that, looking at opportunities like TikTok right now, right? That's TikTok for business, right? All of these things, when it has to do with advertising, is business. So TikTok for business has also opened the floodgates of availability to that same sort of access, in a different perspective, that it is very incentivized right now, which I think is really great what they're doing. It is a technique that Google has used for many years. Anytime you sign up for anything that's tied to anything Google, you'll get $100 in ad spend, and sometimes an ad match. TikTok, I believe, is doing $300 in ad spend, and then up to $2,000 in ad match right now for businesses.
It's so great.
So you get $4,300 of advertising for $2,000, or $300 for free.
Yeah, that I was looking up the URL to see what small business, Hulu small business advertising, just to see what the URL was, which I will find here in a second. But with TikTok, I read a little bit that was a little bit expensive. And that's probably because the platform is newer, and certainly with advertising, Well,
and it's also expensive based on what you're trying to reach, right? If you're a bigger brand, they want your dollars, right? If you're a smaller brand going after a smaller amount of public, maybe it's not as expensive, but it's like everything. You're paying for the newness of it, right? The fact, the engagement behind it. TikTok has a huge amount of engagement right now. So you're paying for that engagement, right? Whereas Facebook and Instagram is sort of floundering a little bit.
Yeah,
It's not
it's
fresh
standard.
and new. It's not that exciting, creative.
It's not, yeah. And I looked it up, advertising.hulu.com, and their opening page says, your customers are streaming, your ads can be too. Through these times and beyond, we're committed to helping small businesses reach customers where they're watching. We can help you connect with your audience in a new way with Hulu Ad Manager, our self-service solution. RSVP now for a chance to be part of our beta. That's awesome. Yeah. So it's really, you don't need an agency like us. You can go in there, and I think, the biggest thing.
They're actually giving preference to small business.
Exactly.
To businesses to do it directly with Hulu.
That's
so
true. Well, there's some great opportunities out there.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, right? Whether it's that right now or the next one next week, just being aware of what's happening in the industry can give you a huge leg up. Because if you get to be a part of that beta, then you're one of the few brands that's part of that beta. But you only get to be a part of that beta if you get in there before your competitor gets in there, or before, So just, it's as simple as setting up a Google News alert to keep track of what's happening with these big brands and platforms where people are engaging, so that you can be engaging with them, right? And taking advantage of it.
Google News Alert is it's alerts.google.com, I believe, and then you put your keywords that you're interested in. I have multicultural marketing in right now, one of my favorites, and it will just send an email to your inbox. Will send an email to your inbox alerting you about what's going on. So there's some really nice ways to just have information, like Carlos said. You might not necessarily need to spend a lot of time searching, but you can be provided that.
And it is one of those tools that sort of set it and forget it. You set it up with your alert, and you'll get your alerts on there as necessary. And it's as simple as reading through an email and just being like, okay, is there something new here that I care about?
Another solution solved. Another solution Google picked and said, okay, this is a problem. Let's make something easier for our people. It's so great. I love it. Well, I hope these are some creative ideas. At least they're new ideas as far as TikTok and Hulu are concerned. And like anything else, it's kind of that thing. If you don't think about it, you just jump in, fill out the form, fill out the information, and see if you get picked. See what happens.
Well, and the difference is not just going where everybody's already going, or where everybody's already gone, right? So a lot of people tend to make marketing decisions based on what they hear other people are doing. Okay. But there is an advantage in being the person that did it. Versus the person that's listening about other people doing it. So
agreed. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you just stick around and choose another episode and listen, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you for listening today. Don't forget to subscribe to and share Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts, and write an awesome review for us. We are also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. See you next time.